Welcome back, everybody, to DD-SOOS.
We do drugs.
And we stay out of school. Never going back. Don't look back, or you'll cry and regret everything you've ever done.
All the embarrassing times that we've had.
Why would you bring that?
We should talk about some of our school stories.
Like
What's a good school story?
None of them?
Yeah.
They're all either, like, really cringy
horrible.
Or mean,
One
like when I was a
time-
little asshole in elementary school.
Oh, yeah. So, Sam doesn't, remember this, I guess, because I brought it up.
Just a disclaimer, this was, a long time ago.
We were in
I was a
elementary school,
horrible
obviously.
person.
This was years ago. I was, 4. No.
A literal child. All of my cells have been replaced since then, so I'm not even, literally the same person.
I am.
That's not me.
This isn't a
Who
bad thing,
is she?
This isn't a bad thing, by the way, but she doesn't remember when I brought this up. So for lunch, Sam would bring, sometimes she'd bring a container of those prepackaged, apples with caramel, which are really good, and she'd give them to me, because I'm my best friend. And then, I guess that was my favorite
I don't think you mentioned this. This is new.
Okay, and she would also bring, not every day, but a lot of the days, an entire bunch, in a rubber band, of green onions.
Oh, yeah, dude!
An entire bunch. And then she would just eat it like a hamster. And just nibble it, go all around the edge.
It was so good!
It was probably 30 green onions in a rubber band. An entire
Dude, I would
bunch.
literally go to Kroger with my mom and just get some green onions specifically for
lunch.
school.
It was the width of a baseball bat.
I know.
And she would eat it for lunch. And I was like, what are you doing?
I didn't eat that at home, by the way.
You just ate green onions
yeah.
at school.
That was a for-school snack.
It's so funny. One time, do you
does
remember?
that?
So, it's not anyone will know who this is, and it's not it'll ever be, okay. You had a crush on this guy named Josh when we were kids.
Dude,
Do you remember
I
that?
know him. He still goes to Northview. He looks exactly the same. I'm not even kidding. He hasn't aged since elementary school. He's just as short, and his face is exactly the same.
Well, for Valentine's Day one year, you bought him 3 chocolate bars that were for your sister. You told your mom, your Mormon mother.
Didn't want to tell her where I was aiming to get a boyfriend in elementary school.
And I didn't want to be unfaithful, so you
I
got
didn't want to be a heretic.
hair tech?
I think that's what they're called.
Hair tech for people do.
No, a heretic, a heretic, when you don't do the laws of God or whatever.
Oh, I don't.
Moses.
I don't follow the laws of Moses anymore, Mother. I will give a boy a chocolate
Moses is
bar.
not my God. I worship a giant cow now.
I worship the land of the green onions. No.
Green onion
The
God.
corn cob world. So you got him 3 candy bars and a ribbon for Valentine's Day.
I remember that. I was
and
so
you just
scared.
kind of walked past and
Yeah, I slipped it to him and ran away. That's cute,
and then
actually.
and then I was on the other side watching you do it. I was just standing there, that's not weird, behind their table, watching, and he was just I'm a player.
Oh,
to
yeah,
all his
dude.
friends because he got a candy bar, and you just ran away.
I was so scared. I thought
You
he was
guys
gonna
used
look
to-
at it and be like, "What's this? I don't want it," and then be all mean or whatever. Even though I knew
A
he had a crush
child
on me
would
too.
refuse a
Yeah,
candy
dude.
bar.
I don't know. I was scared.
And then you guys would stand on top of the slide, and we'd guard you so that you guys could talk up there
yeah.
without people bothering.
I'd have
you.
a posse around me of all my
Yeah.
friends.
And then I would hide with my guy friend in the tube slide, and you'd block the entrance, and I broke your back trying to get out
yeah.
one time.
And then you kissed him in there, and you're like, "I think I'm pregnant."
How old do you think we were? 10?
Oh,
11?
I'd say 10, definitely, because we were pretty stupid.
So I would sit in the tube side with this kid, and we would just sit there. And then one time, it was my first ever kiss. I kissed him, and then she was sitting at the entrance of the tube side on the bottom, so that it was blocked off. And I literally just fucking curb stomped her back.
Did you run away too?
Yeah, but no, you were ow! I'm trying to get out. I fucking stomped stomped your back, like slammed, like a boot flat and kicked your back so hard.
Honestly, the guard thing is a really good idea, though, because I can't imagine the amount of times someone would have, like, crawled up that slide while you guys are hanging out.
Hey, how you doing?
It's just like, they slide away. That would just be really awkward.
Well, I mean, then again, we were like 10, so...
Yeah, it's not like anything would be happening, but, like, at the time,
really,
it would have been super
crazy.
awkward.
And I cried, and I was panicking because I was so nervous, and...
Oh, yeah, you're
I
like,
went to
I
the
really want some
bathroom.
pickles, so I think...
I had a stomach ache, so I thought I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And, like,
You're probably just nervous because you just had your first
and
kiss.
you're like, I don't want to tell anybody. You didn't want to tell a teacher or something.
What? Did we?
No.
Oh,
no one
okay.
did.
Oh,
But I went into the bathroom, and I was like, I kissed him, and then everyone was around, and I was like, oh, fuck, I kissed him, and I ran out of there. Obviously, I didn't say that. I was probably
Well,
like,
yeah.
doo-doo.
Oh my god, the amount of times we would both, like, because we were in different classes in 5th grade, like, we had different teachers, but, like, we would schedule times, we'd be like, okay, at 3:30, asked to go to the bathroom, and
Yeah.
then we would, like, both go and hide in the handicap stall, and one of us would
Oh my
stand on the
God.
toilet so that, like, no one can see there's 2 pairs of
Because the
feet in there.
teachers would come in and look under the
Yeah, 'cause
stall and be like,
they were, like,
"Who's in
catching
there?"
on, yeah, they'd hear us both talking, and then we'd, like, flush the toilet.
We'd just be like, no, just one of us
Like,
in
I'm
here.
just taking a giant shit.
And
and then
eventually
started
we got
talking.
caught.
Yeah, we totally got caught.
But we would just like stand on top of the toilet for no reason, just sit there.
That's true.
And then this other girl started going to school, or we were going to school, and you like became her best friend for a while, and then I like walked in on you guys in the candy tap stall doing what we used to do, and I was like,
You were like
Traitor.
betrayed. Wait, who? Was
her
that
name
Anya?
was
I don't
she had
remember
curly.
her. Oh,
do you know
no.
what? Do you know what I said?
Yeah, but I don't remember who that is. Now I
She
feel
was
really
kinda bigger.
bad.
Kind of bigger, and she had red curly hair.
I know someone like that now, but that
She
was like
lived right up the street. Like,
Oh no. We're gonna have to delete this. Oh my
I can't believe I just did that. No.
Okay, well, do you wanna do we need to start over?
No,
Or
I'll
can
just
you just
cut
cut
it
it out?
out.
Okay. Cut. There we go.
Just
Okay.
delete that
Yeah.
word there. Maybe I'll put a beep in. I probably can't figure out how to do that. I'll just cut it out.
And plus that would be really annoying.
No, it'll just sound like we just said she lives on. Haha, oh my god, I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah. But we can't just disclose people's actual addresses on this podcast.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Like, the only people who really watch this, I think, are, like, random internet people and then, like, people who actually know us, so...
Yeah.
It's not like anyone's gonna, like, go mess with her or whatever. It's not like, hey, I hate this person, dox them or whatever. But still, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
And
feel
people
bad
would
that I
still
don't
do it.
remember who that is, though.
But you guys were like friends for a while, and then you didn't want to be friends with me anymore because she thought I was a bad influence.
What? That doesn't seem right. Maybe the other way around.
Well, because
You're a bad influence. You're like the sweetest person I
Aw.
know.
her
You're like
mom hated
nice.
me.
You're like so perfect.
God, fuck, you're so perfect. Yeah, her mom like didn't want her to hang out with me, but she wanted to hang out with you, and you hung out with me, so she was like,
Oh,
"Don't
yeah?
go hang around her, hang with me."
I bet our mom is a cunt.
And then she invited me to a birthday party, and then I didn't want to go because I didn't like her, or like something happened, or I wasn't gonna
It was
go.
like an awkward situation.
And then she was like, "If you don't want to come to my birthday party, then just say so, and so don't make it an excuse." And I was just like, "I'm not allowed." And she's just like, she's like, "Yeah, right. You're not allowed to do anything." It's like, it's a pool party. Who turns down a pool party?
Don't you want to come swim in my pool?
Oh my
You're
god,
such a
did we tell that
bitch.
story about you in the pool last podcast?
I don't think we did, but if we did, I don't want to say it again. But like,
I
did
want to
we?
say it
Okay,
again.
say it
'cause
again
I
if
don't
we
think
did.
we did. Yeah, I don't think we did.
Okay,
So-
so the setting is YMCA.
So the setting is YMCA. At some girl's birthday party. I don't know how to swim. I've never been a good swimmer.
I was
Always
like
need-
trying to teach her how to
Yes,
swim while
we're
we
in
were
a
there.
pool. Sam's teaching me how to swim, trying to, and she's trying
Yeah.
to show me how to like do a
Like
what's
a
that called?
10-year-old
Is
trying
that
to
called
teach
a breath? Not a breath. A
Is that called breathing? But yeah, it is.
It's called a breaststroke, right?
Yeah.
Would you like to do that? It's such a weird
Like, just
name.
basic, like, swimming,
Yeah. So she's showing me the motion of that, and I'm like, okay. And then we kind of go to the deeper water a little bit. Somehow I get down there.
So you can float.
Yeah, and she's in front of me, and I start doing... I immediately poke her in the eye with my hand.
More like jam me in the face.
Well, because I'm doing, like, this breaststroke, so I just, like, fucking just throw my arm
You
forward.
weren't looking where you were going. I specifically remember that after you told me. Like, your head was completely under the water, and you weren't, like, even looking in front of you at all.
And I stabbed you in the eye. I came up, and you're like, oh, and you're, like, going backwards. You hit your head on the bar, like that you hold
There's,
on
like,
to.
a handrail kind of in the
She
water.
hit the back of her head on it, and then went underwater. And sucked water up her nose, and then came up choking and crying.
And I, like,
got
walked out of the pool sobbing, and she was just laughing so hard, like a psychopath.
I couldn't stop laughing. And, like, she didn't see it the way I had seen it.
No, in my head, you just punched me, and I almost drowned.
And I was like, I'm so sorry. And I'm, like, crying, laughing. And then someone got her some ice with a towel, and, like, we're walking through the hallway to, like, where the locker room is. She's bawling. I'm, like, hunched over laughing as we're walking away. And you're just like, why are you laughing? I wrote so bad.
That is
but it was
pretty
so
funny.
And I think it was also because I was like, I felt bad that I hurt you, so I was like nervous laughing on top of my regular laughing.
It was like a coping mechanism.
Because if the tables were if you would have seen like the perspective that I saw,
Oh yeah,
when
I
did
definitely would have been laughing.
It was so
Yeah.
perfect. I was just like, and you were just like,
But I was just in pain. I wasn't thinking about that. My head hurt.
It
Well,
was
my
so
headache is
funny.
gone. Speaking of that,
Oh,
I had a
good.
headache earlier, and now it's just
Good.
gone.
Yeah.
It probably helped.
No. Thanks. Avocado. Thanks. Well, I really want to drink, but I don't want to. What if I pause it? And then
I want to get drunk.
Mama needs a
Oh
drink.
my god, speaking of that, there's this thing I saw at the gas station. It's really weird. It's like a green orb. I thought it was candy, but then it turns out it's booze. I was really confused.
Does it look like a treasure thing? Like it's made to look
No,
like...
it's called a buzzball. It's like just an orb of green, and it's
Yeah,
booze.
but it's supposed to look like a gem you find
Yeah.
under the ocean or
I think
something.
so. I don't know.
Those
I
are
was
cool.
like really confused.
I've never like...
They recently
had
got a
one in
bunch
real
of
life,
weird
like,
stuff
held
at
one.
Sunoco, like a bunch of obviously drug-related things. Like they have this spray called Blood Life. It's meant to like cover up the smell after you smoke fat blunts. Which it wouldn't do. It would just smell like blunts and pineapple.
And pineapple?
Yeah, that was the only scent they had, pineapple.
Did you get one?
No, I was just laughing at the fact
Use
that they have a
vinegar.
spray called Blood Life.
That's
Oh,
like
yeah,
that vine.
neutralizes most smells, right?
That's like that vine where the guy's like, hey, can I have a sip of that water? And he's like, it's not water. He's like, oh, vodka, like you're saying. He's like, it's
It's
vinegar.
vinegar.
And he's like, what? And he's like, it's a vinegar.
Pussy.
Pussy. And he's just like, oh my god.
I love it.
It's so good.
He's like vodka, tight, vinegar.
Here, brief intermission. I'm gonna get a drink.
Oh yeah, I am thirsty.
Okay. Okay, we're back.
Yeah, we're back, everybody.
With drinks now.
Yes, a non-alcoholic drink.
We were talking about vinegar or something. Oh yeah, we were like, it's vinegar. Pussy.
Oh yeah, that one vine. What were we even talking about though? What's our
That
topic
one
for
vine
today?
When we went to Uberjob.
Oh yeah, I've never been to Uberjumper.
And then he hits your face on my knee.
What?
Remember when you were like fucking alien and then you like kneed yourself on
Oh,
on
yeah.
the face on my knee?
Kneed myself in the face with your knee.
Do you remember when we were at the Star Wars thing and you knocked over that guy's nachos and we bought him more?
Oh my god, I
that was
remember
so
that.
funny.
We were watching the Star Wars Symphony, and it was awesome up until I knocked over this guy's nachos while I was just being an idiot.
And it
he
turns
came
out
back.
we know him.
Oh yeah, well I don't know him, thank God, but that's
It's one of my mom's
That's horrible.
coworkers.
But he comes back, his friend comes back first actually, and he's like, no, it's fine, it doesn't matter. And like it's not his nachos, and then the guy's, or the guy who owns the nachos, he comes back and he looks at them on the floor. He has like this really sad look on his
He's like,
face.
"Aw."
Because they were like $10. They're really expensive
Yeah,
nachos.
and he was just like this handsome guy in a suit and he's just like, And we're like, we gotta buy more
I was
nachos.
like, oh my god, and we just like ran away and bought some nachos.
Well,
He was really happy
For
when we
those who
came
don't
back,
know,
though.
the Star Wars Symphony is a
It's amazing.
it's like the Toledo Symphony where we live. That was a little too specific. It's alright, Toledo's big, kind of.
Where we live, in the town. No, but we don't live in Toledo, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
We don't, I mean.
But, what was I saying? So here, that symphony, they did a show where they played, the first Star Wars movie up on this big screen, but then they played the entire soundtrack, like, from, like, by the symphony. Like, the movie had no music, and they played the music
Yeah, it was
during
live
the movie.
soundtrack. It was
Yeah,
really cool.
it was really cool. We just knocked over some guys' nachos.
Yeah.
And then also, there was this guy sitting behind us.
Oh my god, I forgot.
I don't know what was wrong with him, but he was having like these intense coughs that were so loud, and he was right behind me, so he was just like,
Yeah, like he was dying or something, and you
like
couldn't stop laughing.
so loud, and it like I jumped the first time, and then I just was crying laughing. I didn't know what
He
to
did
do.
it like 4 times though.
Yeah,
I think he
and
was
every
just
time-
messing with you by the end of it.
And then
like,
every time I just jumped and started laughing again. I could
Yeah.
not keep it together.
I was like patting your back, being like, "It's okay, it's okay."
Like, trying to make
I
it
did
look like
that
I'm
at John
coughing or
Wick too.
something.
What happened at John Wick? Because I did
Oh.
that.
During John Wick 3, not to spoil, this doesn't really spoil anything. It's spoil. Is that it?
Yes.
Spoil anything. But this guy's
remember.
on a motorcycle,
Yeah.
and he ends up getting shot and like knocked to the side, and his hand
Yeah,
gets
it's
stuck in the
caught.
back wheel of his motorcycle, and it's like oh he's gonna fall, and it just goes and it
Yes.
stops.
And then he flips back.
He like jams his motorcycle with his own hand, and it's like and it just stops, and then like tumbles back like 50 feet, and I just started crying. It's not funny, but it was just so unexpected.
Yeah. Oh, it was pretty funny. And
What's
like
the
it's
other,
a generally quiet movie theater besides like the movie happening, so you can't just be like cracking up in the middle of it all.
Well, in the middle of the movie, I don't remember what part I said this at, but I kind of forgot I was in the theater because
so
I was like laughing with you. It was
Oh,
almost
yeah.
like no one else was there, so I was just like, "What the fuck is this shit right now?" Like kind of loud, and then like the guy next to just turned to us and was like, "Sorry, I forgot we're in a theater."
That was so fun though. We need to go to the movies more
Yeah,
often.
it was really funny. I mean, it wasn't funny, but it
It
was. Like, it
was.
was kind of funny. It was good.
Gross. I just thought of like with the eyeball.
Oh yeah. Or that guy that's like jaw. Like,
Oh, with the book
the
in
giant.
the first scene, yeah, he
Who
has like
is that
really
guy?
long limbs. I don't know, dude. That guy's huge though.
He's
That was funny.
like 7 feet tall.
He's probably more than that. That dude was like as tall as the library.
But he just like beat him with a book.
Yeah, he
It
put a
was-
book in his mouth and then punched the book and like
Like,
knocked
broke
out
his
his
jaw.
teeth. Yeah.
Oh, so funny, you know.
Normal Tuesday night. It was on a Tuesday, I think, when we watched it.
Yeah, or Wednesday. It was a Wednesday.
Yeah, because I didn't have work that day. Oh, that was so fun. Afterwards, we just like sang a bunch of songs in this really big
Oh
empty
my
room.
god, yeah, I remember that. Because remember, I was paralyzed.
What?
Do you remember that? Right
No.
after the movie, when I stood up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I've been getting these like bouts of paralysis that like go away.
Yeah, it's like
these
her
stubborn
heart
old
spikes all of a
bats
sudden, and like she gets paralyzed a little bit, where like she can't stand up very well.
Well, yeah, I mean the hard thing is to do with POTS. So that's usually when I pass out. But like I got up and I was like, oh, maybe I'm just like, and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't. I'm not dizzy. I was like, what is this? I was like, well, I fell, but I'm not passing out. And I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Your
And then
consciousness
I was like,
is
I
all
can't walk. And like I got up and my legs were just like dead, like flopping.
Yeah.
And I was like, you go ahead.
Because I really needed to pee. I wouldn't have left you behind, but like I had just drank this huge Diet Coke.
Yeah. And Sam's so amazing about the whole like being sick in public thing because she doesn't show any like intense pity or sympathy, and I really appreciate it.
You dying.
I know,
don't know what I would do.
Because I was standing there and you were just like, I'm leaving you here.
I needed to pee, dude.
I know, you were like, oh, causing such a commotion, and he just like walked away.
Okay, that makes me sound like a bitch. I was being sarcastic.
No, but it's perfect. I would much rather have someone do that than be like, oh, honey, are you okay?
Yeah, I think the only thing I did that was like different than how I would normally act is I asked if you needed your heart monitor.
Yeah.
You sound like Seth Rogen. Oh, dude, I wish I could laugh like Seth Rogen, dude. He has the perfect laugh.
So I finally, like, hobble out of there, and I'm like, if you imagine people doing, like, the field sobriety test where they have to walk one foot to the other, my feet are, like, crossing over my other feet in the hallway, and
like
there's
a model.
people, like, staring at me because I'm, like, flopping, looking around, and they're like, that probably looked like I was, like, on drugs or something.
Probably. It's a movie theater.
And I walked into the bathroom, went to the bathroom, which, by the way, didn't go well. Not, like... So I went to the bathroom, and usually in public places, I don't sit on the toilet because...
Oh, it's gross, yeah.
So I kind of just squat.
They usually have toilet seat covers.
Yeah, they didn't, though. And, like, I didn't, So usually I just squat and pee, and I was like, wait a minute, my legs. And I, like, went to squat, and then I just fell and sat on the toilet anyway. Because, like, my knees... That's the thing that's been happening with the... Like, not being able to walk, is my knees are, like... I can't bend my knees or I'll fall. If I... Like, it's the only thing supporting me is, like, me keeping my knees locked.
Oh, yeah, you just keep them locked there.
So I tried to, like, bend over to squat, and I just fell onto the toilet anyway.
Oh, like, no, imagine if you fell in.
I, like, fell into pee or something. Gross.
You, like, fall off.
Just like a puddle goes under.
I've bugs.
I've fallen and I can't get up. I can't pee.
Oh, that would be really sad if you needed a life alert. At that point, though, you would definitely just have, like, a at-home nurse or something. I was gonna say that.
At that point, you know, you just end it all.
If you need a life alert, you should kill yourself.
So I got out.
Should just die.
So I got out of the bathroom and I'm standing there. And this is
these
kind
bubbles
of like...
were bugs, and it freaked me out for a second.
So this is another part of the story. I don't know if you do, but we got out of there, and I'm standing by the sink, and then Sam's like, "Oh, I have something to show you," and I'm like, "What?" And I'm expecting her to pull out like a pipe. I'm expecting her to pull out like a pipe or something, because that's usually what you show me. Like, look at this cool piece. But this time, she pulled out a knife.
I'm not gonna kill you or anything. You are wording this like I'm insane.
She's not insane, guys. Trust me, this seemed a lot more normal during the
Yeah, it was normal. Yeah, I just
being paralyzed and pulling a knife in the bathroom.
Pulled a knife on my paralyzed friend.
Oh my god.
It's like some weird porn title.
We need to make that.
Ew. Just make like weird porn. Like in Japan.
Just like falling down the stairs. No.
It's just a video of you falling down the stairs. That's it. Post it to porno.
So,
Stick bitch takes a tumble.
that's gonna be my new Instagram name. Sick Fish Takes a Tumble. Everyone, my new
That's
Instagram.
on your tombstone.
That's the new bio for DD-SOOS. Sick Fish Takes a Tumble. Put that on a t-shirt.
Let's do it. That's
So-
our new quote.
Anyway, I was gonna say, so,
Oh, yeah, knife.
yeah, she pulls out the knife, and I'm like looking at it, and I get a little closer, and I'm like, wait a minute. So,
Yeah.
I have to back up for this part, but so, my ex-boyfriend...
Yeah, some context.
He won't. I've asked him if I can put his name in this, and he said yes, but he hasn't. His name is Noah, and when we were together, he was graduating, and as a graduation present, I got him a knife engraved with his name, with a bunch of other stuff, and like that was one of his graduation gifts. It was really cool, really special.
It is a really cool knife.
So we're in the bathroom, and she pulls out this knife. I'm like, wait a second. And it's the fucking graduation knife that I made for my ex-boyfriend. And I was like, where did you get this? And she's like, my friend, she said it's been at her house for months. And she said, do you want it? You can just take it. And I was like, what? So I sent a Snapchat video to Noah.
It was really threatening, by the way. She's like waving around this knife like, I found out you gave this away.
Wait,
like,
let me just play the video. You can listen
like
to it.
at the time it was funny, but the actual video, she's like pissed. It seems like she's really angry.
Oh my gosh, wait, here. Let me find it.
Oh yeah, we won't get copyright strike. Yay. Normally when we're talking about videos, yeah, we can't play them on the podcast. It sucks.
Okay, this is it. Here, I'll turn my volume up. Oh wait, hold on. Turn up my... Oh, it's on my speaker upstairs. It just played.
Your cats are just freaking out right now.
On full volume, it just said, "Hey, Noah."
Your cats are looking for you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Okay.
Turn off Bluetooth.
I heard it mumble a little bit. It was that loud. Okay, here you go. This is the clip that I sent to him.
Hey Noah, I'm in the bathroom at the movie theater, and Sam just pulled something out. She wanted to show me.
That makes it sound so shady.
Yeah, it is fucking shady, because you gave the knife away that I had engraved for you for your graduation. Fess up!
That's that.
Fess up! To what? What did he do?
I thought that he just gave the knife away. I mean, we're not together anymore, but we're still like friends.
His new... I don't know if they're dating, actually. I don't know what their whole thing is. Him and my other friend.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what their thing is.
They're not anymore.
But they're still, like, friends, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that they just ended things on good terms.
He likes to hang out with, I'm not even say their names, sister and boyfriend of...
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, last time I went over there, oh my god, speaking of that, every time I, like, show my other friend's brother, like, a funny YouTube video, or, like, if she shows him, like, a funny YouTube video, he's like, I'm gonna, like, we went over there and we showed him this really funny essay that someone she knows wrote. It's horrible. I'll explain that later. And he's like, I'm gonna rap it. And so he, like, finds a beat on YouTube and starts rapping. Some of them aren't that bad, but it's usually just, like, really cringy, yeah. Sometimes it's like, wait, like, that sounded actually good.
But so what happened is, so I sent that to Noah, and then he responded and said, what? And he was like, what is going on? And he explained the situation a little bit later, like, more in depth, but he sent me a message, and he was like, no, that was stolen from me.
What?
And he said, don't blame me for such horrible things. I really liked that gift, and I asked for it back.
Does he want it back?
And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And so before he sent me that, you had said, I don't think that's how it happened. I think he, like, left it somewhere.
That's what my other friend told me.
So I sent him these two snaps before he explained what happened.
I've been informed that that's not exactly how that happened. You can still explain the situation if you want.
There isn't a situation. There's no...
I've been informed.
Situation.
I was wrong, but I'm still a little pissed that you forgot about it. I'm not gonna lie. A little tear coming. Oh.
Okay, so I sent that to him before he explained what happened. And then let me go into our text, because I am going to read what he said, because it was really funny and I felt really bad. And then I called him the next day. We ended up hanging out the day after. Let's see.
The next ones weren't as threatening, but that first one, you sounded genuinely mad, like, not even, like, sarcastic angry, you were just, like, angry.
So I sent that to him, and he was like, what? Question mark, and he's like, what situation? Like, both of those videos I watched didn't really tell me anything. I've been home all day, and I'm really confused. And I said, I'm sorry, you gave the knife away, the one I had made for you. Sam has it in her purse. And I was, like, angry. I was disappointed. And then in all caps, he said, I asked for it back, kinda. And he said, she stole it from a table I left it on. I was using it like a knife tool and left it, and it was stolen. Don't blame me of such a treachery. In all caps.
Don't blame me of such a treachery.
And I just said, LOL, okay, you're forgiven.
If he wants it back, he can have it. I didn't know that he actually wanted it back. I'm not, like, holding it hostage or anything.
Because when we were in the bathroom, I was like, and you're like, it's mine now. And you took it back.
You can have it, dude, if he's, like, at... Who?
I don't know.
Someone just sent her abs. Just his abs. Who is this?
His name's... Oh well. Anyway, so
moving on.
I shouldn't have said.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, no one's gonna be, like, looking up who that is.
No.
So,
Must start
as he
insane.
watches it, I mean, he's on my Snapchat, so.
Oh.
Ooh, sorry, dude.
Cut it out.
Oh, well.
We have a lot of things to cut out of this podcast. Oh.
I don't give a shit.
Not exactly someone's reputation we need to protect, so.
Yeah,
He did that to himself.
But I do have, I'm not going to say his name, but you know who you are, actually.
Oh.
They're going to think,
Well, you don't have to whisper
Yeah.
that. The fact that it's two people.
well,
Do
it's
you?
really not.
Oh. What?
I feel really bad now. I don't know.
Do you just not want to talk about it on the podcast?
No, I will. I met two really great people. One has a dad bod.
Oh.
You know who you are. You're pretty funny, my dude. Yee yee. And then the other guy.
Are you supposed to woo him with that?
No.
My pickup line is yee.
We got this whole thing about it. And he's
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yee. And I'm like, yee.
Oh, right.
Or like he sent me a picture of him in a hat, a camo hat, and he's like, "What happened to the top of my head?" And he was like, "I didn't want to mention anything, but like it's kind of concerning. Where'd the top of your head go?" I'm like, "Oh, yee."
Okay.
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 And then the other guy he's a veteran, and he's really cool too, and I really enjoy talking
Oh, and
to
there's
him.
like a weird love triangle going on.
No.
Okay.
There's no love triangle. There's no love.
Oh.
We're just like Tinder people
Oh,
that are very
okay.
nice.
Yeah.
The one is a lot older than me by about 10 years.
Ugh.
No, it's not in though. He's really attractive and really nice, and
Okay.
he wasn't like, "Oh my God, you're younger,
Yeah.
gross." Like,
Or
he was-
even worse, ooh, you're younger. That's usually how it goes.
Ew. Yeah, no, I was talking to this guy the other night.
Oh, me too.
Like-
Oh God, it was disgusting. I blocked him.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up doing it too, I think. But so I was talking to him. We were having this whole we talked for like 2 hours, kind of on and off. I was like, I just realized
That's
you're
not a
like
good
however
opinion.
many years older than me.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait a minute, that would make you under 18. And I was like, oh, only by a few months. And he was like, what? OMG, WTF, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, it's only by a couple of months. I was like, what's the big deal? I've never even met you. Like, there's no,
Yeah,
what
like
are
you
you
didn't
afraid
do
of,
anything.
you know?
Yeah.
I was like, what are you afraid of, you know? And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And then he just didn't say anything else. It completely stopped responding, so I ended up blocking him. But I was like, are you kidding? We
Yeah.
talked, like, for that long. You were having, like, he was kind of trying to, like, get at me a little bit. Like, I'm like, oh, you want to, like, and I'm like, and then as soon as he realizes I'm a couple months shy of being legal, he's like, holy shit.
It's not
no.
even illegal, though. That's the thing. It's just,
Yeah,
like,
people
kind of
forget
weird.
that the age of consent is 16. Not that you should be taking advantage of people.
No,
That's kind of my theory, is if someone is that concerned about, like legality for age, they were probably planning on not being very, like, you know, appropriate with
That's
you in
the
the
thing.
first
Like,
place.
if an older man knows the age of consent for his state, that's probably strange. But if, like, the person who is the age of consent is worried about that, like, it doesn't
And, like,
really
I know
matter.
people who, like, I mean, if you go out to have coffee with someone who's older than you, okay,
Yeah.
so what?
Or, like, what if you just, like, want to wait or whatever, but you still want to build your relationship? Like, if
Yeah.
it bothers them that much or whatever,
Yeah,
like,
you know,
just wait a
and
few
like
months
I
and
get
hang
it.
out.
Like and I'm not saying that you should try and like do anything
No.
between minors and people who are like of age, but like that rule is there to keep minors safe.
Mhm.
But you know, it doesn't always mean that it's like if you're just a normal guy trying to have a relationship and you're not planning on like raping someone,
Yeah.
you probably don't have much to worry about.
No.
You know, like people share their boundaries
Yeah,
pretty
I think
early
as
on.
long as, like, both people are okay with it, that's why the law exists, I guess. Because, like, if a 16-year-old and, like, a 24-year-old do stuff together and they're both fine with it and they had a great time, but, like, her mom finds out or something, freaks out and calls the cops, and it's technically illegal, and, like, both parties are happy, but she wants to press charges, and then he goes to jail and has to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. Like, no wonder.
Like
why
I
they
get
made
that
law,
kind of
yeah.
situation, but I always I don't
Yeah.
have that
But
situation.
that's probably happened enough times that, like,
Yeah.
some judge was like, I'm sick of prosecuting this, like, this needs to change.
And, like, that's
that's
the thing,
messed
too.
up.
Like, you don't always have to do stuff with someone just
Yeah.
to... Like, that's what...
Like, you could have a fun time.
Yeah, that's what this other guy was saying, was like, you know, I was like, I feel like I need to make it very clear and poignant if you haven't already, like, noticed or, like, seen that my age, because, like, on Tinder, obviously, you can't be underage, and... But, so I was like, I want to make it very clear, you know, I am not 18 yet, I have a couple of months until I turn 18, I don't want to, like, mislead you in any way, I don't want to, like, cause any problems for you, I don't know what your
Sometimes
beliefs
you'll
are.
get flagged, though, if you put that in your profile. That's what happened to me, and
Like,
I got
don't,
banned.
I mean, I know, I don't, but I tell people as soon as I start talking to them.
That would
like,
have been smart, yeah.
like, you know what I mean? So I'm not, like, keeping people
I
in the
put it
dark
right
or
in my
anything.
profile so that they can either swipe right or left.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. Yeah, that was obviously a bad idea.
But so I make it very clear to people, like, no matter what.
Yeah. Full
So-
disclosure.
And I was like, you know, I feel the need to, like, make it very clear that I'm not 18 yet, and I hope that, you know, you don't really have a problem with that. We've been talking for, like, a day, or, like, however long we're talking about it, not that that's, like, that long, but
Yeah.
I didn't
talked
want to, like...
for a whole day.
But, I mean, I didn't want to, like, get
Yeah.
past the point where, like, we've been talking for you for a few weeks, and just like, hey, by the way...
Yeah. And then
I'm
it turns out it
underage.
actually bothers them.
Yeah,
That was
you know?
really awkward, yeah.
And he had a really good response. He was just like, you know, that doesn't bother me. He's like, I would base my, like, opinion of you based off of your maturity level, not, like, your legal age. And he was like, you know, you only run into problems with that if you're looking for certain things. And he's like, we don't even need to go there. I just enjoy talking to you. And I was like,
Aw.
that's a really legit answer, you know?
In the wrong context, that would be really creepy, so...
Yeah, but it's not. He says something like, I
He
really
just a
enjoy
number
our
being
banter
me.
that we have. And,
Yeah.
like, you know, he really enjoys just having a conversation. And he's like I was telling you earlier, I've met very few people that are, like, well-rounded in, like, worldly. Like, they've experienced a lot. He's lived in
Some
different
people are just very
countries and, like,
sheltered.
and this is for anybody, not just this person, but, like, I mean, he's had genuine, like, life experience and hardships and, like, you can learn a lot from people, but people that have done more, you can learn more from.
Kind of like how, like, everyone needs to, like, do acid at least once in their life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
Sure.
name of this podcast, but, like, even at least just, like, once, because it really helps you, like...
That's the name of this
Expe-
podcast. You just need to do acid once in your life.
But really...
New podcast name, guys.
Because it's just an experience you can't really describe, and I think that's just something someone needs to experience. Even if you have, like, a horrible time, like, you put yourself in the shoes of someone who's just completely vulnerable to the world around you, and it's a very interesting perspective, I guess.
Yeah. It definitely is very, like, it's really intriguing to me when I meet guys who are very bothered by the age thing, because it makes me think, like, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Like, what were you planning that would, like, that would be a problem?
Like something pretty crazy, I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, you have to think, even if you're, like, in your 20s and you get, like, molested by someone, there is still legal repercussions.
Yeah.
It's not just for people under the age of 18.
I don't know, I wasn't thinking of it that way. I was just thinking, like, crazy BDSM or something. Because...
Whoa, what? Oh, what you thinking about? Penny for your thoughts? Crazy ass BDSM.
But, like, even though it's, like, legal, that'd be weird with someone who's not an adult. Like, they're a kid still. Like, even though
That makes sense.
you
yeah.
have, like, a mature brain, like, you're a child. No matter how mature you are at our age, you're a child.
Even
it doesn't
if you're
matter.
not a child, you can still be, like, there. Like, you can still not have enough experience to know, like, your limits, I guess. Like, there's people who get into stuff like that and are like, oh my god, like, choking, or, like, whatever people say. Like, girls are like, I want some guy to, like, throw me against a wall, or whatever they say. And then they're just like, I mean, have you seen stuff like that?
Well, yeah, and it's like...
And, like, they think, they're like, oh my god, that's what I want. And then they're like, oh my god, I was abused. I'm like, you need to be clear with what you want. And, like, there's definitely, like
people who don't have a
guidelines,
safe
I guess,
word
I
before
think.
they start doing things like that. Like, they tie them up and then they don't even have a safe word. Like, maybe that's something you should think through, or, like, vacuum sealing or whatever. Like, you should definitely have a safe word.
I don't...
That's something I've wanted to try, but I'm afraid.
Vacuum sealing?
Yeah, you get sealed in a bag.
It's like a, it's a giant, like, rubber thing with your mouth is over
I feel
it.
like
They
it'd
put,
be
like,
really
flowers in
uncomfortable,
there with
though,
you.
but it would look really cool.
Don't they put, like, flowers? It's like
You
a pretty,
can,
it's like
yeah,
a
it's
photography
beautiful,
thing.
honestly, yeah. But, like, it'd be really uncomfortable, and I feel like I'd get sweaty in there.
I've seen pictures of people with, like, those weird, like, whatever the latex
it's full
suits.
coverage, and they have, like, the mouth, and
But, like, anything with, like,
I
a
don't want
mouthful,
anything like that.
anything with,
That's
like, a mouthful like that,
demeaning.
it's just like, but there's, like, only a little bit of your mouth out. It looks so weird. I've seen, like, pictures.
Like the, what is it? That guy in, Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, yeah.
The Gimp, yeah.
He just goes how many times we've referenced him. We've referenced Gimp, Jeff Goldblum, and Forrest Gump, like, every fucking episode.
That Gimp from Pulp Fiction was, like, the most memorable part of the movie.
Well, and then he just, like, hits him in the back of the head and he just hangs himself.
Yeah, he's
with
there
the
for, like,
leash.
2 minutes, but he makes such an impact. I'd never seen that in a movie before. Like, I'd only seen that on, like, weird parts of the internet. No, not even weird parts of the internet, just the internet. Yeah, it's just the whole internet. Full of furries and gimps and weird videos.
Like, what next?
Or, like, the teapot vine where she's laughing and it's a teapot.
Or, like, girl that's snoring, they just pull a toy plane across and she's snoring. Like, there's, like, on Tinder especially, people, they hide that kind of stuff, but then they hint at it. Like, a lot of them will say, like, having, like, long walks on the beach, like, normal bio, everything's great. The very bottom of it, they say the last sentence, fine, and then, like, a big space, and then, like...
Vacuum seal me in a bag.
Yeah, it's like, I'll kiss your feet, or, like, weird stuff.
That's not that weird.
It's not,
it's
like,
very
not,
common.
like, a derogatory way. I just mean, like...
Like, kind of thrown out of nowhere.
Like, yeah, kind of, like, not, one of these things does not belong,
in their
you know?
defense, how do you bring that up?
Yeah, I guess if I wanted to, like, have a foot fetish and I wanted to make it...
If I wanted to have...
If I
my
had
goal is to have a foot fetish. Honestly, no, it is. I've mentioned this to... my other friend before. I keep almost saying her name, but like how, because imagine if you were attracted to every single part of the human body as like a weird kink. The human body would be so sexy, it would be crazy. Like, I have an earlobe fetish, a foot fetish, like a nostril fetish, a teeth fetish. Like, that'd be amazing. You just like look at them and orgasm.
Oh my god, that's so weird.
But that would be great.
I don't know, because like
anything
you think that's not, like anything that you don't directly relate to can often seem really like weird, like, ooh, that's gross, or like something like that.
Like, it's really easy to be judgmental.
But everyone has their own little things,
you know?
know?
And no
like,
one wants to
really
admit it. Like, some people are so ashamed of their kinks.
Yeah,
and it's
like,
sad.
I've always really liked hands. Like, I always look at guys' hands before I decide to be in a relationship with them. like, what do your hands look like? Do you take care of your fingernails? Like, what is that, you know? Or like, do you floss?
Ew, if they don't clean their fingernails and it's all gross.
I do then. Like, literally, like, when I was with Noah, he bit his fingernails. I mean, I'm a nail biter too, so it's not like I can say anything about it.
You were being
like,
a hypocrite, but still.
but, like, he didn't take care of his fingernails. He had his cuticles, so I did his nails. Like, not, like, painted them, but I mean, like, you know, I took care of them. Yeah.
Aw. That'd be
You
nice.
know what I mean?
Like, if you really liked someone, except, like, their hands are
I did
gross.
his toenails,
Clean
too.
them.
That's what love is.
Give your love a bath. Yeah.
Give your love a bath. Yeah.
Like, ew, you need to shower. Go hop in the shower and do something fun, you know? Like, if they smell or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
One
hands
time-
are pretty cool.
My first date with my, like, most recent partner, the first date we had was going to the movies, and he took his shoes off in the theater, which sometimes I do, whatever.
If I'm wearing flip-flops, I'll do that, because it makes no difference.
His feet stunk up the entire fucking theater. I swear to God, like, it smelled really bad. Like, I was like, dear Lord, dude, how do you not know that?
Yeah.
You know?
Like, you have to be able to smell it. Maybe
And
he
then
was hoping no one else would.
And then at one point, he, like, pulled his knees up, like, he was sitting in the chair like this, and he, like, I saw him go, and then just sit there! Like, he sniffed to see if his feet stunk, and then just stayed there.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, everyone has smelly feet sometimes. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, like...
I just, like...
But you don't expose them to the world.
And obviously, I didn't care that much because I stayed with him for so fucking long, but, you know...
Wait, who was it?
The last one.
Oh, that was
like
him?
8 or 9 months, yeah.
Ew. That makes it more worse. I just thought he was kind of a douche, but, like, now he's a gross dude.
It's the other thing. Very few people floss.
I don't floss that well.
I mean, that well, even that, you still floss sometimes.
Yeah,
even if
I'll
you
like
don't floss
not
great.
floss for a week, and then I'll be like, oh no.
But
and
you
then
still
I'll floss.
try and you think about it.
Yeah.
I had to. Not the last one. I did teach him how to floss. He didn't. He had never
What?
flossed.
Not one. Not even like with the kitty flossers when he was
and
a
he had
child.
gaps in his teeth, so he said he didn't need to, or his parents told him he didn't need to. And I was like, floss your fucking teeth. I was like, yeah, how can you not floss? You know? And
He
it's
has
not
gaps
really
in his
their
teeth,
fault.
but they're full of food.
Like, and it's not like necessarily their fault. Maybe like I think a lot of it's programming when you're a kid.
Oh well, definitely.
But
like
still,
your general
come on,
hygiene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I said that weird. I was like, still, come on, you know.
Come on, yo.
Come on, yo.
Oh, I'm so glad
But
I bought
I just
this
like
shirt.
I am very attracted to people who take care of their hygiene.
That's
because,
not
you
really
know-
a kink. That's just like normal human behavior.
Or like that Vine
I
where
like
she's
people
like,
who shower, wipe their ass. My kink is when you take a bath, put on deodorant.
like that Vine where she's like, I like a guy who can tell the difference between your, and your, or whatever. No, there's only two. Never mind. Or like, or there, and there. And
Yeah.
and she's like, wow, you really need to like raise your standards if that's all you're looking for.
I like it when they have basic grammar.
Or like people who say no, like no thanks, and spell it KNOW.
Oh, like on
Go
purpose? Or,
die.
like,
No,
they think
not
that's-
on purpose. They just don't know how to spell. Oh, karma being choked by Darth Vader.
Darth Vader doesn't know the difference between you and your.
Imagine him sending out some letter that's just like, there will be pain, when it's spelled
Oh,
T-H-E-I-R. Is it E-I or E-I? No, E-I or I-E. I don't
I
know.
before E except after C.
And stepped in words that
Even though it's spelled T-H-E-I-R.
No one says the rest of that saying. It's everyone says I before C except after C, and then they forget the second half.
What's the second half?
It's like something like, except for words with something, with words that say way, as in nay or something. Wait, let me look up the full thing.
I feel like that's bullshit still, though. That saying exists for
There's
no reason.
only
Like, who
one
came up
word
with
that follow that, like, because here's what happened, right?
Mhm.
Everyone's taught that. I read something. I was like, huh. It says there's only one actual word that follows that rule. My mom's like, yeah, idiot. It's because you didn't finish the second half of the saying. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Wait, what about science?
Mad with science. Wait, let me look it
No,
up.
I before E except after C and whatever else it says, but S-C-I-E.
East
MCE.
Side, West Side, episode season 1, episode 5. It says I
What?
before E except after C. I think it's a song or something.
Oh, will we get copyrighted if we play this?
No, I'm not. I'm looking for the full thing.
I love staring around this room that we're in because there's artwork all over the walls.
I thought this says I before E except after C, or when sounded like A as in neighbor or way. That's the part I know. And it says unless either a feisty or foreign protein plans a weird heist of your height. And I think those are all things that don't follow that.
What about science?
I don't know, does it? I before E except after C, also when you heinously sees your weird foreign neighbor's feisty beige heifer.
Science isn't mentioned anywhere, so it's still bullshit.
Where's the... Yeah, I before E except after C, or when sounds like A as in neighbor or way. Or my mom says nay, but still. So, and no one says the other part, so there's a lot more words that fit into that, even though not all of them do.
Yeah.
I think it's just called, like, learn English.
It's
Maybe stop
basically-
stopping with the nursery rhymes
Yeah.
and just learn how
I
to speak.
before E except after C, and a couple words, but not all of them.
Yeah, really, like, that's more confusing. What about silent letters?
Oh,
Why?
yeah.
Get rid of it. Get
Or
out.
like a T
Burn
in
it.
tsunami, or like a T
Burn
in
it.
tchotchke, or like...
What? Tchotchke?
It has a T at
What's
the
a
beginning.
tchotchke?
I don't know.
Is it a gun?
No, I think it's like a food or something. Let me look it up.
I want tchotchke for dinner. Okay, bang.
Tchotchke. It is a small object that is decorative rather than strictly functional,
a trinket. So tchotchke is just like a little thing.
Sounds like a Russian thing. Like it's on my tchotchke.
Yeah.
It's
just like a bunch of little knickknacks when I go to Images, so.
That's funny.
So tchotchke
Like
is knick-knack.
those little women that like you cut them in half.
Russian
and
doll?
Another woman.
Yeah.
And another little girl.
Yeah, a
Sounds
Russian
weird.
doll. You cut open a woman and there's a little person inside, and then you cut that one in half, and then there's another little person. Yeah, fun-sized people.
Midgets are just fun size.
Aw.
That's not politically correct.
Honestly, I would have sex with that guy from Game of Thrones,
I never
Tyrion.
watched Game of Thrones. I need to watch it.
That guy's pretty hot. Like, not even just like,
Winkler?
even though he's a midget,
I always just said
but like
Henry Winkler.
because he's a midget. I don't know.
I always just said Henry Winkler. That's fun.
From Game of Thrones.
Honestly,
He just
from
comes
Game
in
of
while
Thrones.
like the White
Hey,
Walkers
on
are
the
killing
farm.
everyone, and he's like, "Hey!"
Oh my gosh.
Didn't
That
it look
is
like the
Henry
Fonz
Winkler,
one
right?
time? Yeah, it is. I think he died recently.
What's the other guy's name
But
that
we
I
were
always
talking about
confuse?
Fonzie
Jamie Farr. I always get them mixed
Which
up.
one's that?
Toledo from MASH. Holy Toledo.
Oh, yeah.
Cross dresses. Yeah.
Yeah. That guy's pretty funny. Did he ever get out? I
We have
never
the
finished
Jamie
that
Farr.
show.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they really get out. It's just MASH. They just stay in the service forever.
Yeah. Until they die.
I love that show though. But
That show is really funny.
Jamie Farr Classic, the golf tournament, they put all the parking across the street from us, right on this field. So when the golf classic, it's the Jamie Farr Classic.
That's awesome.
He also signed a
it.
hot dog bun, and it's at Tony Paco's in a frame with his name on it. I
Which
don't know
one?
how they
There's a
saved
lot
it.
of Tony Paco.
The one downtown. There's more than one. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the big one. I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay.
The big one.
The big one. That's what she said.
She's like, oh, it's such a cute baby. What's its name? Oh, it's named after its grandma. What's its name?
Grandma.
Oh my gosh, excuse me.
Oof. Do you think we should wrap this up, or should we mention something else?
We had a trend that was 13, now we're at 38. So I mean, I guess I'm bored.
Let's wrap it up,
Okay.
because then we can just keep talking and not have to worry about being
Comedic
entertaining.
value.
Yeah.
Being an entertainer is so
Because, like, I can't
tiring.
just, like, sit here on my phone and then, like, mention something I remembered and, like, go back to my phone and then, like, laugh about whatever. Like, we can't do that on the podcast. They're
But
just
we
be
still
like,
like the
oh,
podcast.
and I really have to pee.
I really have to poop too. Like I feel it like.
Well, I spoke first, even though it's your house. Actually, it's your mom's house. You don't even live here.
Do you ever have to poop really bad when you go poop and you can't?
Yes, I hate it. You mean being
What?
constipated?
Yeah. Not like that. don't
Do you
mean,
ever,
like-
get constipated?
No, that's
Like,
no. I mean,
no
I do
time.
have really bad constipation. That's how I mean. Like, you have to go to the bathroom so bad, and you go up, and it's like gone. Like not
Oh,
like.
yeah, I don't. And then you leave the bathroom, and then you have to shit again,
And
and
you're
then
like,
you go
"Come
back in,
on."
and then it's gone.
Oh, not every time, but almost every time. I poop, wipe, take care of myself, stand up, and have to poop
Oh my
more,
God.
and sit back down to do it again.
For me, it's usually
My
I
poor
have to
butthole.
pee really bad, and then I pee, and then I leave, and I go lay down, and I get really comfortable again, because this is, like, the middle of the night, and then I have to poop. It's, like, really, like, 2 minutes after I just
That's
peed.
like that other podcast. I think it was the third one we recorded where I peed 4 times in an hour.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
4 times.
Were we drinking a lot or something? I mean,
No.
like, liquid.
Were we like a really shit face?
No. You can't say drinking without it sounding
I
like
know, like,
gross.
you know, hydrating ourselves.
Yeah, but were we very hydrated?
I don't know. Every time I do the podcast, though, I start to, like, choke. Like, my throat's like...
Is it like an
Screaming.
anxiety thing? 'Cause at the very beginning of our podcast, I get really nervous. Like,
Oh
I
my
feel like
gosh.
I'm gonna mess up and have nothing to say. But then that never happens. But, like, I'm always really afraid
I
to
know.
do these. It's
It happens to
terrifying,
me, too.
honestly. And then once we get into it, though, it's, like, therapeutic.
Yeah, it is. I like talking to...
I like the
I was gonna
idea
say
that
nobody
someone
if
else
you're
gives a
invisible.
shit. Yeah. I love talking to someone. Like, once we turn off this podcast, I just turn into water vapor.
You just leave.
Ooh, my knee feels really weird.
Don't smack
Look,
it.
a big spider bite. I don't know what
Ooh,
that
I have
is.
one on my shin.
I have so many bug bites all over
There
me.
were
It's
2
insane.
giant spiders in my room yesterday. Okay, so you know the black
wait,
ones?
something to talk about before we end this. The ants. Oh no,
Oh,
the
no.
ants.
So, guys, I went away to Pittsburgh this weekend to see some
Wait,
family.
before you talk about it, mention the spiders, because I want
Okay,
to know
yeah.
about the giant spiders in your room.
So I came back from Pittsburgh this weekend, and I was standing by the mirror, and I just looked over at my bookshelf, and there was one of those, like, black jumping spiders, the ones that are, like, fuzzy, but they kind of have, like, the weird little, like, crab-like looking things. It was kind of walking, I was just looking at me, just standing there, and it, like, ran away into the corner. I was like, oh, geez, I don't like that. And then I went over and sat on my chair, and I was sat there for, like, 15 minutes, okay? And I kind of saw something moving, thought it was the cat.
My knee bit smell.
Saw something moving, thought it was the cat, looked over, and the arm of my chair, I thought it was the same one at first, like it jumped on me
You
or
thought
something.
it was a cat?
What?
How big was it?
Oh my god, it was no, it's not that size. I meant like I saw movement and I thought it was my cat moving.
Okay.
No, I didn't think it was a cat. Oh my gosh, that would be one huge spider.
I saw something in the corner of my eye. It looked like a cat. Turns out it was a spider.
I just saw something moving. But I looked over, and right next to me on my armchair, I thought it was that spider, and I looked over, and the same one was still in the corner. I was like, there's two, where's the rest? I was like...
all in the walls.
I was like, there's like a 1,000 that... Like, when they give birth, there's like 1,000 eggs. I was like, that means that there's like 998 spiders still in my room somewhere. Not really, but like...
At least. Well, not at
So
least,
I was like,
but yeah.
So I was like, oh no. And I looked over, and he was just chilling. He wasn't angry. And then I started to look at him a little bit, and I was like, cause I jumped up, and I was like scared, and then I looked, and I was just like, and he had his little eyes looking at me, and then I just thought, well, I'm Lucas, the spider. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
There's a video
That's
of
cute,
this 5-year-old narrated this video of this cartoon spider this guy had made, and he goes, hi, my name's Lucas. And he has this little kid's voice, and he's supposed to get people to not be afraid of spiders.
Oh, yeah?
And it worked. But
if you
so
put a
I'm
kid's
like-
voice on anything,
so I'm
like
just
a
like,
commercial.
oh, Lucas.
I'll buy
I'm
it.
looking at this spider.
Yeah.
I'll show you when we're done.
Okay.
And I'm just like, oh, so I took a bunch of pictures of him, and like and did a little photo shoot, and then I put him outside. And I wasn't panicking anymore, but I hope there's no more in my room.
Yeah. Like, I love you, Lucas. Get out of my house.
Yeah. And then for the ants, that thing you're talking about.
Mhm.
So I like to eat up in my room and
Yeah.
drink and, live. So all
I
my
love to
stuff
be a
is,
human
like,
being.
all my stuff is next to my bed, and I guess I had something left open in my room when I left for Pittsburgh that I didn't know about. My room was a little bit messy, and I guess it got knocked over by one of the cats. And my mom didn't tell me this until I was here at home. She's like, all right, so we have to talk about something. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"What?"
That
She's like-
conversation, you thought it was going somewhere else.
Yeah, she's like, so I was trying to hang with your cats, and I like cleaned your room, and so you had some food up there, and she's like, it got knocked over, and your bed was covered in ants. And I was like, what? And I was like,
Even though you
"Why
already
didn't you
told me
tell
this, I'm like itchy.
And she's like, I was standing there and I thought it was like crumbs or something, and I looked and it was like a carpet of ants. And then she
Oh,
pointed at the
God.
dog food, like she was like, it looked like that, like, and I was like,
Ugh.
so like dry dog food.
Mhm.
She was like, it was like all over each other. So she went out and bought like ant traps, which we don't usually go any kind of route like that. We never buy like pest control stuff like that, but there were apparently like 1 billion ants on my bed or something.
Yeah, and for her mom, that's like surprising because it's not. Yeah, they're not inhumane at all. They're the opposite.
But she I guess she just didn't know what to do.
Mhm.
So she bought this little like ant tube trap, and when I looked at it, there were none in there. I think they like looked and were like, oh shit, we should get out of here.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna kill us. So I think they just left, but I guess it was a lot. But luckily my mom like took care of it for me while I was gone. Appreciate her very much.
Yes. Her
But,
mom is
so that
amazing.
was a really lovely thing to hear walking in the door after a long, hard trip. Oh, your
Oh,
bed's covered in ants. You want to lay down?
Welcome home.
Go
Your
lay
bed
a
is
carpet of
covered in
ants.
ants. Yeah.
Oh man. So my Aunt Patricia is amazing, okay? She
What is your
is
Aunt
about
Or what did she do?
My Aunt Patricia.
What is Aunt Patricia?
So my Aunt Patricia's about 83-ish years old, and she has some kind of. I made that.
It is so
Do you
cute.
want one? I'll make you one.
Yes.
So
It's a perfect festival bag.
she has Parkinson's or something that makes her shake pretty bad, so she gets a little bit unsteady when she stands up. And we were at a pool party for my uncle, and I was in the pool, and she was on like the deck, which was like I was right at the edge by the deck. And she didn't fall in the pool before you think that's what happened. She didn't fall into the pool, but
Don't worry.
she stood up and she fell, and she hit her head on the pole that holds the umbrella up, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, like freaking out. I mean, obviously. And went over, picked her up, helped her up. And I'm like, oh my god, are you okay? And she's like holding her head, and she's like, and then she's just like, I just wanted some chips, and she's still holding her head, walks over to the chip bowl and just starts eating, just starts eating chips, and her nails like kind of bloody, and she's like, oh, I'm fine. She's just like eating food and like resuming normal. And then later on that day, I had to go to her house for some stuff, but she has like the front porch steps that go up to her house, and she goes to step on the first one and slips and almost falls down the steps.
Again?
And I'm like,
Oh, no.
she didn't fall, but she's like, oh, it wouldn't be the first time, haha. And I'm like, how often are you like falling? I didn't say that, but like,
How often do you fall?
like an old lady, you know.
I mean, if you
She's
have
doing
Parkinson's,
really
that
well.
makes sense though, because
Yeah.
like your legs
Even if
would
you're
also
not older,
shake.
like even if you're not elderly, that still makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, you know, so that happened, and then I went on like a wheelchair lift at her
Nice.
house to take down this heavy object, just to try it because it was kind of fun. You just stand on it, press a button, you just go, it goes to the ground, and you like go to the car.
Aren't they really slow?
Yeah, but it like jerks around.
Yeah.
I guess my uncle built it for her for when she's like heavy groceries and
Aw.
stuff. One of my favorite stories about her is we were at dinner like years ago. Like probably one of the first times I met her. I was probably close to maybe 5 or 6. We're at breakfast at Denny's. She has her plate of food and she has her coffee. She opens up a creamer, goes to put in her coffee, and gets a huge tremor shake. Shakes the creamer all over the table, like, and she's like, shit, and she like just shakes it everywhere, all over her food, and my mom's just like, she's like trying not to laugh. I mean, like, shoots it. You would think there's that much cream in one of those little cups. I mean, like, everywhere.
Oh yeah, no, there is. I've dropped them at work before. I know. Believe me.
Oh, I have another. Okay.
They got bigger.
The cups?
They got new ones, and now they're like.
Ooh, wow.
They even have like hazelnut creamer and like French vanilla. Do you want to come by and I'll make you some fancy
you want to
coffee?
come by sometime?
Also, we're gonna get an espresso machine in August.
Oh my
I
gosh.
am so excited. It's gonna
I
have
love
milk
espresso.
foam and
Are you
everything.
gonna do art like be a
Yes.
barista?
I am gonna be a barista. No longer a cashier. Or yeah,
No longer a cash reaper.
I am no longer a cash register, but no, my job will actually matter. Like, I'm not just gonna be pressing buttons on a
I
machine.
am no longer a cash register. I am a barista.
Promotion, though. I'm gonna probably, like, not get a raise because
It was
all
just
that's
a
gonna cost so much money.
Ugh. So
I'm
I
so excited for foamy milk. I'm gonna put foamy milk in everything. That's what she said.
No. And the hiccups, sorry, because I'm like laughing. Every time I laugh really hard, I get the hiccups. So, this was probably, what is the word for when it's before? Isn't it like circa,
Circumcised?
no, like circa 2004.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
isn't that the word?
Yeah.
So, like, circa 2009-ish. I don't know how many years ago, a while.
Yeah.
That's 10 years
Like-
ago.
Like, at least 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
that's too early, not that. Probably close to like 2012.
Oh, okay.
We're in Ocean City, Maryland. Picture, we're on the boardwalk. We go to this breakfast place, and I get a waffle, and my mom gets her breakfast. We're eating, we're sitting at this table. Our table, by the way, the picture is like a circle table, and we're in the middle of the restaurant. Like, there's tables, and then are like in the middle, and then there's booths along the wall. So I'm sitting at a table, and I'm eating, and then there's like a booth kind of like to our right over here, and the tables are higher up. I'm eating, and there's this fly, because the doors are open, because it's the beach and it's warm, and there's this fly like around us, and we're trying to like swat it away.
Oh no, what happened?
So I'm eating my waffle and got a fork full of waffle going to my mouth.
No.
And my mom knocks it out of my hand trying to swat the fly away onto the booth's table over here. A fork full of waffle flies off and hits this person in the face. And I was just like, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And my mom's cracking up now, but like, flung it across. Like, she was trying to kill that fly when she swat her hand. Like,
she's like, it's right there. You know?
And she was just like, and then after she's like, no waffles for you.
Like, it's your fault.
Oh, and I looked over at this lady, and it's like, her food's probably ruined now. She has a fork full of waffle from somebody else's table.
Yeah.
After it hit her, it didn't hit her in the face. It hit her, like, somewhere around here, chest, arm. And her whole table's just, like not amused by any stretch. Like, they're older, and...
Oh, yeah, and like all crabby.
It was like an older lady, and it was like they were so not amused, but we were so amused. It was so funny.
Oh, that must have been awkward sitting next to them for the rest of that meal.
I'm pretty sure we got out of there pretty fast.
Oh, yeah. Eat as quick as you can.
That was funny.
Catch me if you can.
What's another thing that happened in Pittsburgh that was...
That was pretty funny. You were just like, that was funny.
I didn't like. Ha ha.
Hilarious. Oof, oof. Oh. I'm tired. I'm not dying or anything.
I'm just tired.
I'm not you.
Sick bitch. Take some tumble. Oh, I need to get a t-shirt with that.
Yeah.
Like, pronto. We both need those.
In like Impact Fund.
So
I love
something
it.
else that happened at...
Ooh, I have a story.
Okay.
It's a story about a horrible story.
Okay.
Oh god, okay. So this guy that my other friend goes to school with sent her a book he wrote thinking it was like the shit, right?
Like romantic or just...
No, just like he wanted her opinion on this book, and she told him, she was like, oh yeah, it was great and whatever, because like she's not gonna tell him the truth, which was, it was absolutely horrible. It was just him ranting, like, so it's supposed to be this character that he made, but it's just him. He just
I'm gonna blow my nose.
Okay. Permission. It's not.
Gross, sorry.
No,
Keep going.
it's supposed to be a character, but it turns out it's just him. Like, he inserted himself into the story, and then he's just, like, ranting about things. It's horrible. He's, like, talking about, like, the normies in school, and, like, all, like, it's disgusting and weird, and, like, and he's just, like, ranting about society and whatever, and then the book, like, I guess it ends, I don't know, just, like, I didn't read the whole thing. I told her to send it to me, but I haven't read it.
Oh, every episode.
And that's what her brother started rapping, because we were reading it, and then he's like, what is this? He like heard us reading it, and then he started reading it, and then he's like, I'm gonna rap it, and then he's reading this like really like so edgy, like this dumb story this kid wrote, and he's rapping it, and so then that made the book like even worse, because then it's being rapped.
Oh my god, how do you rap a book?
It was pretty awkward.
Imagine
funny.
just someone just being like, Bilbo Baggins. He's a hobbit.
He's the shit.
He lives in a tiny, dark, warm, cozy hole, not a moist, wet, damp hole, or whatever it says.
That's not the book.
Yeah, it is. That's the beginning
What?
of the story. Wait. Yeah, where's my phone? Hold on. Wait, oh, here. No, that's totally, like, kind of the beginning.
That's what it says?
Not in those exact words, but, like,
Bullshit.
almost in those exact words. Hold on.
Okay.
A bit. Read The Hobbit online.
Olive Garden USB breadstick?
Ooh, that's cute.
That's adorable. I just opened Reddit and there's this tiny USB stick. It looks
By
like Olive Garden
J.R.R.
breadsticks.
Tolkien, by the way, give you all the credit, even though he's not alive anymore.
Aw.
Don't wanna.
They're making a movie about him.
Yeah, I want to see
Do you
it.
want to go to the movies and watch
Yes.
that? Dude,
Yes,
I love it.
yes,
I love
yes.
it. I love it.
Okay, here's the first paragraph. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit, not a nasty, dirty, wet hole, filled with the ends of worms and an oozy smell, nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole, with nothing in it to sit down on or to eat. It was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort. It had a perfectly round door like a portal, painted green, with a shiny yellow brass knob in the exact middle. The door opened on a tube-shaped hall like a tunnel, a very comfortable tunnel, without smoke, with paneled walls and floor tiles and carpeted, provided with polished chairs and lots of pegs for hats and coats. The hobbit was fond of visitors. The tunnel would go on, going fairly but not quite straight into the side of a hill, the hill, as the people for many miles around called it. It had many little round doors opened out of it, first on the side and then on another side.
That sounds like a dope house.
No going upstairs for the hobbit. Bedrooms, bathrooms, cellars, pantries, lots of these. Wardrobes, he had whole rooms devoted to clothes. Kitchens, dining rooms were all on the same floor, and indeed on the same passage. The best rooms were all on the left-hand side, going in, for these were the only ones to have windows, deep-set round windows, looking over his garden and meadows, beyond slopping down to the river. So, it's a very descriptive of what his house looks like. But it's like, honestly, not a dirty, wet hole with an oozy smell.
I've wanted a house like that, but, like, as a child,
dirty, wet hole.
No. I imagined having a home, like, in the side of a mountain, where, like, the home is, like, in the mountain.
Yeah,
I think that would be really
so
dope.
Cool. And you wouldn't have to pay for heating or air conditioning, because it's always the same temperature underground.
Oh.
You know that?
I don't think that's true.
It is true.
It is?
Maybe not for heating, for cooling, though.
Mm. That
Underground,
makes sense. Oh yeah, it's
the
really
same
cool down there.
temperature.
Ooh,
Wow.
Illinois just passed a bill for recreational marijuana.
Go, Illinois!
That's, like, right there.
Good job!
Dope.
We support you, Illinois, for DD-SOOS.
So now everyone around us is legalizing marijuana,
But
except us.
Why? I am the
We're
one
so
who needs
Puritan.
it.
Yeah. Ugh. Even
Pass
though
the
it
cheese
or-
balls.
yeah. Even when
So
it is
bad.
legalized, I need to stay healthy. Pass the cheese balls. But like, you're gonna have to be 21, so that kind of sucks. But at least you know that. Oh really? Ooh.
I have enough stuff wrong with me.
Yeah.
So we take it.
Yeah, they'll be like, it's free. They even have a clinic in whatever. No, I think it is medical here. It's
The
just
only
not
one
recreational.
medical place that you can get your card that's not even legit,
Yeah,
so don't
no,
do it. That you pay $400 and it's not real,
Oh.
or not the right certification. It's literally this lady, this Hispanic lady, that you walk in, and there's no reason to say that other than that she has like a really thick Hispanic accent.
Mhm.
And she's got like 4 guys around her, 4 giant guys, like
My
scary
gods.
looking guys around her. And she's like, yeah, you want this? Here, you pay me $400 right here, and you like negotiate. She gives you this card that's not a legal card.
It's just some paper.
I mean, it's a legal certificate, but not the one you think you're getting. And then she's like, all right, here, you want some seeds? You want some oil? She doesn't give you blood. And then you leave, and that's it. And then you think you have what you want, and you don't.
Well, that's
Well,
really shady.
Don't do that.
Yeah. I don't know why people would do that. It honestly irritates me because it, like, disrupts the reputation of, like, legit business owners who are just trying to, like, sell a product they're very passionate about.
I will say, no matter what your political stance on it is, if you are a female and you have a period and it's painful, put CBD oil up there.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me. Take a tampon, soak it in that, heal. It's really good.
Or, like, rub it on your stomach.
On your stomach, put a heating pad on there, you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, pretty much everyone knows this, but CBD oil is the half of weed or marijuana that
Not
doesn't have any psychoactive properties.
You can't get high no matter how hard you try.
It is the medicinal quality of marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
There you
The
go.
THC can help. It, like,
Mhm.
assists, but it...
Part
yeah.
of the pain relief.
Yeah. Like, it helps
Just
with,
fucking zoning
like,
you out.
cancer treatments, yeah. No, really, though. I mean, that does help. Like, when I get a headache, I just, you know, get a little zone, and then I'm fine. Or, like, with cramps, I do that. Or, like, with, because I don't have, like, tinctures or oils or anything fancy, you know? You can't get that kind of stuff from his house. It's just weed.
And it's better than medicine because, like,
Mm-hmm. It's just a plan.
You go to the doctor and they tell you about, you know, taking the medicine. They're like, well, you know, this you might have this side effect. You know, stick with it for a little while. If it goes away, great. If it doesn't, we'll try something else. But when you're already sick, it's really hard to tell. Like, I'm about to start taking this medicine, and my doctor was like, it might give you some, like, it might give you, like, an upset stomach if you're, like, queasy for, like, 4 or 5 days. Just stick with it. And I was like, that's a while.
Yeah.
And how am I going to know if I'm, like, horribly not doing well with it, or if I'm just having the side effect? Like, what if it's past that and it just doesn't go away? You know? Like, so if there's a problem, I'm just going to stop. And he's like, no. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you can't really just stop it cold turkey, you know?
Oh yeah, a lot of medicines, if you do that, it'll mess with your head.
Mm-hmm.
So the worst thing that can happen with weed is that, like, if you have schizophrenia, it'll get worse, and if you have anxiety, it'll maybe get worse. It's very different, though, from person to person. You can never
And
really
there's different types of
until you try it.
marijuana products that can improve anxiety as well.
Like, for me, it really helps, like, shut that down, but for my other friend, it makes her anxiety horrible. Like, she'll smoke too much, and then she'll just freak out, and she'll be like, do you think I'm stupid? Like, everyone thinks I'm stupid, right? And I'm like, no one thinks you're stupid, and she's like, you don't have to say that, like, I know I'm dumb, and, like, she freaks out.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
Oh, I don't know.
Dang nabbit, what was I gonna say?
Dang nabbit.
Dang nabbit! I don't remember.
We're talking about tinctures and oils.
Mm-hmm. Getting there.
Anxiety, schizophrenia.
I think. Oh, this isn't what I thought it was. This isn't what I was thinking. But this is another thing too. If you go to the doctors a lot for like whatever, like I go to the doctor all the time because I have lots of different doctors with different specialties for all my problems, blah 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 blah. And if you tell them your stance on marijuana or medical marijuana, or say that you plan on using it or that you're going to use it, they don't like it. And oftentimes,
That's not
if they
true.
find
Some doctors are totally on board.
well, yeah, but I mean, mine haven't been. Like, I've had doctors be like, you know, I won't treat you with medicine. I won't give you any other type of treatment if you're going to do something that's going to hinder with my treatment. I'm like, it's fucked up. I really liked you, but now I can't do what I want.
Yeah. It's because I think when you say that, they assume you are currently using it and,
Yeah.
like, self-medicating.
Mm-hmm. They do drug tests, too, when they take my blood sometimes. There are a few times have been, well, you know, there was no evidence of any alcohol or any illicit drugs or anything in your system while we did your test. And I was just like, why did you run a drug screening during my blood work for, like, you know, my iron levels? Like, that kind of thing. Like,
shady.
you didn't need to do that,
I
you
think
know?
she's on meth. She mentioned marijuana. She's in danger.
We need to save her.
Yeah, save her from her druggy ways.
Those are just meth juice.
Imagine meth juice.
It's a go-go juice, the yee juice.
And some of my, what was it in, Honey Boo Boo? Was that the go-go juice?
I think it was go-go juice,
That was
yeah.
the go-go juice.
You know how that turned out. Oh, and her mom was on meth. He got arrested for meth, yeah, just recently.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because she lost all the weight, and then he's like,
Yeah.
you're on drugs. She's like, yeah, I'm on meth.
Oh, God. No wonder.
And the guy was like abusing Honey
Yeah,
Boo
she's a
Boo. And
pedophile. Or he's a pedophile.
she's a
Not her,
pedophile.
no. We can't just call people a pedophile on here, though. I
Like
mean,
the
he
guy?
was, but not her. Like,
Yeah.
she didn't do that. She
I was
just
like,
did
he
it.
was a legitimate pedophile. What was I gonna say? Oh, dang it, I don't remember again. What's wrong with me? I wonder if any of the guys I have crushes on are gonna listen to this and then be like, well, fuck that. I hope not. That would be really sad. And, like, I totally made it really clear who it was.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
I don't
yee
think
yee. He's like, yeah, I know that's
It's not like
me.
they're gonna hate you or anything.
No, but they're gonna be like, you're a little weirder than I thought.
Well, if
maybe.
they're really weird, then it'll be better.
Sometimes,
Like,
not all the time, but not all the time. So when I'm editing like the podcast and listening to it, I'm like, I sound really weird. Not just like normal,
yeah.
like when you sound gross because it's your own voice, but sometimes I'm like, why do I talk like
I think that too. When
You know
we
what I
were
mean?
just listening to the other podcast, it's like I hate myself so much sometimes.
I'm like, I must be really annoying.
I'm super
you know?
cringy. I don't know why you talk to me, honestly.
I don't know why you talk to me. Or like when we recorded the episode on video that I ended up taking down, I look nuts. Some of my facial expressions,
Dude,
why
yes,
do I
I'm like
do
a
that?
crazy witch lady.
I was
It's
like,
weird.
ha 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 ha, like hitting my own thighs, like laughing with my mouth open in this weird like, why do I do that? What is it about my genes that make me make faces like
You
that?
think it's like a problem with your DNA?
No,
My
it's just,
DNA
it's
is
just
just
your
totally
shitty personality. It's my personality aids.
My whole labia was just out.
Well, that's why it's a menorah, because you can't
only
see
wearing
it.
these floppy shorts, so.
Yeah, I think you wore those last time too, and like
Did I?
you like fell asleep and then like rolled, and they didn't roll with you. It was just like out in the open.
It always happens
I'm
with
just like,
comfortable
I can
clothes.
see a whole vagina. Just like, oh, sorry.
Or my other friend's sister, cut that out. My other friend's sister, that happened one time. She was just like at her mom's house, and like she was out on the deck and just like smoking this big bong, and she was sitting like this, but like her pants were like kind of flopped to the side, so just her whole vagina was out.
That happens sometimes. There's a lot of people
No.
who just don't wear underwear.
I
wear
don't
underwear.
usually. I do if I'm wearing like jeans or something uncomfortable like that. But if I'm wearing like just these or like I don't know, leggings or something, then I never do.
Also, I mean, I wear underwear. I think maybe I'd be more open to not wearing underwear if I didn't have health problems. Like, I pee myself.
Oh yeah, you would need to wear underwear then.
Like, if I go out somewhere, like a movie or somewhere, like, where I'm not going to be, like, it's not accessible to just leave and, like, go home, like, I have to, like, prepare, like, wear, like, a pad or something just in case I pee myself, you know? And, like, if you're not
Or
wearing
panty
underwear,
liners, you
there's a
could get
lot
them.
more chance that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, very obvious. Yeah. Oh, we do need to wrap this up though. We've gone over an hour, well over an hour.
Yeah, this is going to be a long one, guys.
This
I
is the
hope you like
longest
it.
podcast we've ever made, and I'm very afraid that it's super boring for a lot of it
It's
because
not
of that.
boring.
I know, I always say
I know
that, and
you
then it
guys
never
like
is.
us. You guys love
I know
us.
you love me. Don't say otherwise. You know you want it. But anyways, this has been DD-SOOS. We can't just go on forever.
It's like, this has been this program.
And
Program. Jesus. Did you just like die? Like, alright, we're gonna die of cholera now. Bye.
bye.
Get out of the house.
Get out.
Now. Go faster. I want the door to you on the way out. Oh yeah, no, and our outro has a door. Alright.
Really?
Bye. Door.